YouTube. Today in the Naughty Librarian, I'm going to talk about book boyfriends. So since I'm the Naughty Librarian and February is my month where I want to do primarily romance-related videos, I want to talk to you about some of the main types of men you will find in romance novels. First up, you got the alpha male, basically a guy who is rough and tough and wants to save the day, and he's just very domineering and everything. An example would be Army from Fighting Dirty by Laurie Foster. He's an MMA fighter, totally alpha dude. Excellent smut, good book, recommend. Next up you have the actor or the rock star, general celebrity male, rich, famous, the whole 9 yards. A good example would be Fox from Rock Addiction by Nalini Singh. I love the Rock Kiss series. It's excellent smutty delights, and I enjoy the whole Rockstar thing. Like, it was the first Rockstar romance I ever read, and I freaking loved it. Like, I didn't know I was into Rockstars until I read this, and then, like, I'm totally into Rockstar things now. Next up, you have the athlete. Pretty self-explanatory. It's a guy who is an athlete, more than likely professional. An example would be Lachlan from The Play by Karina Halley. Lachlan is a professional rugby player, which is hot, and he's Scottish. Like, that's like 2 categories in one category in one dude. Also, Karina Halley writes amazing smut. It's smuttily delightful. It's hilarious. It's so funny. Highly recommend. Next up, you have the reformed Playboy. Essentially, he's banged everybody, but he's willing to settle down for the right woman. An example would be Will from Beautiful Player by Christina Lauren. Will is a bit of a piglet. He's kind of been around the block quite a bit until he meets Hannah again, and she just knocks him off his feet and he only wants to be with Hannah. So definitely reformed Playboy. Next up, you have a very rare sort of man, the virgin. Very rarely is the guy the virgin in a romance novel, but I can think of a couple off the top of my head. An example is Ren from Unleash the Night by Sherilyn Kenyon. Ren is like a snow panther, a were snow panther, and then he meets Marguerite, and like, the only thing is, like, he was like pulling out some advanced studies sex moves on his first time, and I'm like, there's no way you're that good at things this fast. I mean, maybe you're a fast learner, but like, there needs to be the awkward fumbling, and there was zero. So that part maybe wasn't so believable, but he was an adorable virgin, and I really liked it. Next, you have the tortured hero. He's a hero with a dark past. An example of which is Lucian from The Darkest Kiss by Gina Showalter. This is part of the Lords of the Underworld series, and essentially there's these immortal warriors who opened Pandora's box, so the gods grabbed all the demons that came out of the box and they stuck them in the warriors. So now, like, they're like the keeper of this demon. So he's Lucian, and he's also the keeper of the demon of death. So obviously he's gonna have some issues. He is a great character and I loved him all the way. He's very tormented, but also a hero. Awesome. Next up, you have a billionaire or CEO. Essentially, that means exactly it. He's the head of the company and he has billions of dollars. An example of which is Eli from The Bastard Billionaire by Jessica Lemon. It's got billionaire in the title. Hello. Also, Jessica Lemon is an amazing author. She's so funny. She has a great comedic timing. She writes awesome smutty bits and wonderful dudes, and I will pretty much sing her praises forever. She's an awesome author. Highly recommend checking it out. Next up, you have the control freak. Essentially, this is the dude who basically stalks the female, and it's supposed to be romantic for some reason, even though it's not. I mean, come on. Obviously, Christian from 50 Shades, because he literally stalks her and is a creepy control freak and wants to control her meals even. Like, creepy stalker control freak. To the max, forever. Great example of this. Next, you have the single parent. Essentially, this is a dad who's single and he has a kid. An example would be Jacob in Wishing for Us by Sydney Landon. Sydney's just an awesome lady and she writes great little smutty bits, and there's lots of jokes and laughs and fun. They're all romantic comedies. Highly recommend. Next up, you have the man in uniform. Most of the time this means he's like in the military. He's a Marine, he's a Navy SEAL. They want really those like alphas. They don't just want like, oh, just like a army chef. No, they want like a Navy SEAL. An example is Daniel in Can't Hardly Breathe by Gina Showalter. He wasn't a Navy SEAL, but he was a Marine, and he was like a super good Marine. This is another series by Gina Showalter that isn't paranormal. This is a contemporary romance series. Again, it has all of her charm that I really love about her paranormal series, but in a contemporary series. Excellent smut, great characters. I actually really like this book. I highly recommend. Next you have the paranormal guy. Essentially, this is like a spooky dude. So he's like a vampire, a werewolf, a wizard of some kind, I don't know, some type of paranormal creature. I read a lot of paranormal romances, so it's really hard for me to like narrow this one down. So I'm just gonna go with the first guy in a paranormal romance that like I really loved. For this one, I'm going with Sebastian from No Rest for the Wicked by Kresley Cole. This is part of her Immortals After Dark series, and it's exactly that. It's just random immortals getting together. Sebastian is a vampire, and his bride is Katerin, and she is a Valkyrie, and I really loved Sebastian because he's not the typical alpha male vampire. He's actually like kind of bookish, and he's kind of a dork, like, and he really wants to study, and he's very scientific in his thought process. So I kind of really liked him just because he was like unusual from the others. Then you have the Everyman. Essentially, this is just an everyday dude. So basically he's at like the same like level as the female. He's not like economically better or worse, or he's not like in a position at work or something that's better or worse than her. They're kind of like on an equal footing. For this one, I'm going with Joshua from The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. And The Hating Game is gosh darn delightful. It's so sweet, I think is the best way to describe it. It's not like a dirty, smutty romance. It's more of a sweet romance. There's like a little bit of smut, but like not until like the end. It's kind of a slow burn. And Josh is pretty adorable. He's kind of a curmudgeon, but he's like the everyman. He's just like a normal dude. And lastly, you have the Highlanders. So these are old-timey Scottish lords, and there are so many books about like these kilt droppers that just, there's so many Highlander books. And it is a goal of mine this year to read more historical romance, because I always say I don't like it. But then I've read so many historical things and I kind of like it, so I'm like, maybe I should just try it out. Maybe I'm totally gonna love a good bodice ripper. So I think for my first foray into historical romance, I am going to go with If You Dare by Kresley Cole. It is part of the McCarrick Brothers series, and I believe the lead in this is called Cortland, and I mean, it's got Tartan on the cover and they're already banging. Highlanders, old-timey, awesome. Totally want to read it. I trust Kresley Cole because she's one of my favorite authors, so I'm sticking with this. Okay, so there's even more categories of book boyfriends, but like, I don't want this video to go on forever, so I'm just gonna cut it there. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite kind of book boyfriend is. Did I miss your favorite? Let me know that down in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like, and if you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!